I'm going to enjoy a trip with the girls using your card. Out of nowhere, Brian called me. I'd noticed he'd been coming home late for the past few weeks, whispering on the phone with Nicole and seeming restless around the house. Had he been scheming like this all along? I had a hunch he might have teamed up with Nicole for some plan. Luckily, I was prepared. Maybe I should act surprised. Here, mine, really? What do you mean? Tell me. I already knew Brian was leaving for a trip today. Honestly, it's incredible. If he's trying to deceive me, I wish he'd planned it better. I'd been patient until today, but now I felt an urge to retaliate. I wasn't going to let him get away with this without a revenge plan. It's time we stood up to those irritating siblings after all the patience we've shown. Once today is over, I believe everything will become clear. I hope they're enjoying themselves on that trip, unaware that one of their companions is on my side. My name is Pamela Smith. I'm 33 years old and I live with my husband Brian in our house. Right after high school, I started at my current company. With time and support from my boss, I earned several certifications. In this company, having certifications and a solid track record earns you respect. I even secured a leadership role at the age of 21, a rarity for someone so young. Despite starting as a team lead, I quietly aimed to climb to the rank of department head. As time passed, Brian joined the company along with a few others. Despite being younger than Brian, I found myself his supervisor. I was tasked with training Brian and two others. Pamela, you're pretty close to our age, right? And you're our supervisor. Seriously. Yeah, I think I'm maybe a year younger or so. I've been here since I dropped out of high school, so I've got some experience. I see you've had your career plans set early on. That's impressive. He often complimented me then. Brian started pursuing me romantically. I initially hesitated but eventually began dating him, and before I knew it, I had fallen for him. Our relationship progressed normally from there. We enjoyed dinners out, drives, and soon moved in together. After moving in together, I started noticing Brian's tendency to be messy. I figured he felt comfortable enough to be himself, so I tried not to let it bother me too much. After some time living together, Brian proposed, and I accepted. We then sat down to discuss our future. I'd like you to quit your job and become a stay-at-home wife. I'll work and bring in the money, and you can take care of the house. That's the dream. I also want kids soon and am looking forward to buying a home and having our wedding. I was thinking wedding first, then home, and then kids. What do you think, Pamela? You know, Brian, that plan sounds great. I don't have an issue with the order, but finances are a concern. Even with our savings, I don't plan on quitting my job. We can find a way to balance work and kids, even if we do decide to have them. I'm also worried about the financial strain of buying a house. Yeah, I understand that, but it bothers me that you earn more than me. Still, having our own house is important to me. I was thinking we could buy one right after our wedding. That might be challenging. I do earn more than you currently, so how about we focus on the wedding and discuss the house? We can decide about children and my job later on. All right, let's go with that. Honestly, I wasn't keen on giving up my job, but I felt it necessary to propose this compromise. Otherwise, Brian might keep making demands. Before our wedding, we held an engagement party with both families. Brian's sister, Nicole, was away on a trip, so I met her for the first time at the wedding. She barged into the bride and groom's waiting room without knocking, eyed me up and down, chuckled, and remarked, "So this is who Brian chose, a bit plain compared to his exes." Hi, I'm Pamela, your sister-in-law. I'm someone who speaks frankly with family, just a heads up. Nice to meet you. Nicole waved casually and left the room, leaving me taken aback by her directness. Indeed, Nicole turned out to be quite a character. I later met her husband and found him to be a decent guy. The wedding ceremony went smoothly, and after touring potential homes, Ryan and I settled on a house we both liked. As things were gearing up, I threw myself into work with renewed energy. On a typical day off, the doorbell rang unexpectedly. Since I was occupied, I asked Brian to answer it. He returned, chatting and laughing. It turned out my sister-in-law had dropped by. "Hey Camilla, Brian's really making it big with this huge house. Good for him, he's my little brother after all. I've been keeping busy. Make yourself comfortable, Nicole. Do we have any snacks?" I sensed something was off with Brian's behavior. He seemed to be acting all high and mighty because his sister was visiting. He likely told her he bought the house himself. Although I contributed to the down payment and pay a significant portion of the mortgage, Brian insisted on having his name on the title, so I relented. Since we were living together, I thought it didn't matter whose name was on the title, but the way he explained it to his sister irked me. Still, I decided to hold my tongue and not make a scene. Here are some snacks. Brian works really hard, you know. Why does Pamela sound so bossy? She's not the boss or anything. Well, I am Brian's supervisor at work. Oh, that's right. Did I not mention that? When I started the job, Pamela was already a manager. Since she started working right after dropping out of high school, it couldn't be helped. If it were me, I'd surpass her in no time. Wait, you dropped out of high school? You look so serious, yet you're less accomplished than me. Is there a problem just because I dropped out of high school? No, not really, but Pamela, since he didn't graduate from high school and I'm your sister-in-law, I can ask you for anything, right? That's true, Pamela. Whatever my sister says is the final word. If you refuse, I'll kick you out of the house. I struggled to make sense of what this sibling pair was talking about. What's the point? If she can ask me for anything because I don't have a high school diploma, and she's my sister-in-law, and if I don't listen, I'll be kicked out of the house. What kind of nonsense is this? Is this a joke? I gave a polite smile and quickly escaped to the kitchen. I could hear Brian's voice from there, and from what I gathered, they seemed serious about their earlier conversation. After their discussion, my sister-in-law came into the kitchen. Pamela. Hey, I've got a favor to ask. What's up? I kinda need to borrow a little money, like $5,000. Please. How is that a little money? That's a lot. What do you need it for anyway? Come on, it's just $5,000. You're a supervisor, right? You must have a good salary. Oh, right. I needed to cover the remaining renovation costs. Didn't you just brag about your new condo the other day? Huh, did I? Anyway, just hand it over. Brian told me he'd lend it to me and said I should ask you. What? Why would he decide that without asking me? Listen, Pamela, either give me the money or I'll call your boss right now and tell him you want to quit. Which do you prefer? All right, Nicole, I'll lend you the money, but on one condition. We need to draw up a promissory note. What? Even though we're family? Fine, I'll bring my ID with a picture when I come to get the money, okay? Ah, such a hassle. But fine, if it means I get the money, I'll be over tomorrow night. So I decided to lend my sister-in-law the money, feeling that getting her to sign a promissory note was essential. Even though Nicole grumbled, she brought everything I asked for the next day. Honestly, I never realized how spoiled Brian was by his sister until we got married. It's ridiculous. I bet no matter what I said, it wouldn't have made a difference. Later on, I discovered that Nicole used the money to buy designer items. Once I lent her money, she kept asking for more without any hesitation. Of course, I made her sign a promissory note each time. Within a month, she had borrowed about $12,000 from me. Just when I thought this was getting out of hand, I was called into the boss's office. They wanted to promote me from supervisor to manager. I was over the moon and couldn't wait to get home and share the good news with Brian, who had taken the day off. I'm home. Brian, guess what? Welcome back, Pamela. You seem really excited. What happened? Today, my boss called me in and offered me a promotion to department manager. My goal has always been to become the head manager, so I'm thrilled to be getting closer to it. Huh? Wait, what? Pamela, you're getting promoted? I don't get it. Did you accept the offer? Well, yeah. I've told you about my goal before, right? Hold on. You should have asked for my permission before making such a decision. What were you thinking? Plus, I've told you I wanted you to be a stay-at-home wife, haven't I? How come you're getting promoted while I'm still stuck in the same position? Doesn't that seem odd? That's not my fault. I've told you I don't want to quit my job. Why you can't get promoted is beyond me. Shortly after, Brian made a call, and I assumed it was to his older sister. Sure enough, a few minutes later she arrived. Hey, I heard you stole Brian's promotion opportunity. What's the big idea? No, I didn't steal anything. At our company, promotions are based on performance. So you're saying Brian's incompetent at his job? How dare you look down on him as his wife? This is ridiculous. Let's go grab some barbecue on her dime. They rummaged through my purse and took my bank card. I tried to resist, but with the two of them against me, I ended up being restrained. They left, laughing. Tears welled up in my eyes. I shouldn't have married such a man. It's too late for regrets. I need to find a good divorce lawyer. That night, Brian didn't come home. The next day, when I went to work, Ryan had already arrived. He approached me with a smug look, saying, Yesterday was a blast. Eating on someone else's dime is the best. Thanks for the treat. When he handed me the receipt, I saw he'd been to an upscale barbecue restaurant, and the bill was $1,200. There were also receipts from luxurious bars totaling an unbelievable $6,000. I wanted to snap back, but as more employees started arriving, I held my tongue. On my way home, I checked my bank account and to my shock, saw that $8,000 had been withdrawn. When I got back, I confronted Brian. Brian, what were you thinking, taking out $8,000? Fancy barbecue and luxurious bars? It's my money, saved from my single days. I just got home, and you're nagging me. Money from your single days? I don't know. I don't care. Can't do anything about it now since I've already spent it. He said that and quickly ran into the bathroom. That's it. I'm definitely divorcing him. I went to see a lawyer over the weekend. Several weeks have passed since then. The preparations for the divorce are progressing steadily. Ever since that incident, Brian has been coming home late, and he leaves the house in a hurry on his days off. I was getting suspicious and thought about hiring a private investigator when I got a call from Kevin, my sister-in-law, Nicole's husband. Hell, is this Pamela's number? Yes, Kevin, it's rare to hear from you. Yeah, it's been a while. Anyway, is my wife there? No, she's not here. I see. She's been coming home late and leaving without telling me on weekends. She said she was at Brian's place when I asked her yesterday. Oh, I see. Brian's been acting the same way. Maybe they're both going somewhere together. It's none of my business anymore, so I don't really care. Oh, and Kevin, I had something to tell you as well. Can you hear me out? None of your business anymore? What do you mean? All right, go ahead. I told him everything about the money I lent to my sister-in-law and everything else. Upon hearing this, Kevin sighed and said, Is that so? I'm sorry about my wife. To be honest, I've been at my breaking point and considered getting a divorce, but I just couldn't take action. Why don't you use the evidence I've gathered, Kevin? You should divorce too. It's not fair for you to be in this situation. Let's give those selfish siblings who spend money recklessly a taste of their own medicine. Yeah, let's work together on this. Oh, by the way, I think Nicole and Brian might be planning a trip. He mentioned that she had urged him to take a long vacation and that there were travel brochures on her vanity. Curious, I decided to look inside the shelf that Brian had always told me not to touch. Sure enough, I found travel brochures and club cards. That's when it clicked for me. Kevin, I think they might really be planning a trip. I found some brochures. I've got an idea. As I explained the plan, Kevin laughed and agreed to go along with it. We decided to coordinate further via text and ended the call. I also sent him some potential evidence that could be beneficial for the divorce and meticulously planned our next steps. 2 weeks later, early one morning, Brian left the house. I knew about it since Kevin had informed me the day before. A few hours later, Brian called. I'm gonna have a blast on your card with my sis and friends. He had been coming home late and sneakily making calls with Nicole. I had sensed something was off. I suspected they were up to something. Good thing I had prepared. Maybe I should act surprised. Mine? What? What do you mean? Explain. Seriously, you didn't notice? We planned this trip ages ago. Kevin was just our backup plan in case something happened. We felt you've been getting too arrogant lately and talked about teaching you a lesson. Got it now. You can't stand up to us anymore. I don't have to tolerate this any longer. I've been patient for so long, although payback isn't too much to ask for. I don't feel anything anymore, not even a shred of emotion. Brian, what did you say earlier? I told you about your debit card, right? Huh? I have my card in my wallet though. What? What are you talking about? Because here it is. Wait, what the heck is this? You just noticed. Slow on the uptake, huh? Didn't you take my old gym membership card from the fitness club I used to go to? It's the same color and same stiffness. Oh my God, it does say fitness club. But I swear when I checked it, it was definitely a debit card. Are you sure you didn't just mix them up? Hey, I heard everything because you're on speaker. What's going on? Brian brought a fitness membership card. I'm sure I saw my debit card. So it was a scheme by Nicole and Brian. Ha, I'm so disappointed. Actually, last night I swapped the debit card with the membership card. Looks like you did a check this morning and just went with it. What? Dude, what the heck are you playing at? No, I should be the one asking that, Brian. Tough break, huh? Don't get too cocky just because you're my stepsister. Got it. You'll remember this when we get back. I've got gifts waiting for both of you when you come back. You trying to bribe us? I won't accept anything but cash. Well, we'll see about that. Look forward to it. That's beside the point. What should we do now? Oh, Pamela, can you send me some money? I hung up the phone. I didn't need to hear any more. Then I received a message from Brian saying, "You better send it, okay? Worst case scenario, we still have Kevin here, you know." I simply replied, "Is that so?" and went back to sleep. In the afternoon, my phone rang incessantly with missed calls and messages. I first called my brother-in-law and then answered Brian's call. "Hey, finally, send the money ASAP, please. It's so cold, I think I'm gonna freeze." Well, they're in Alaska. It's February, so it must be freezing. If Brian and his group are feeling the cold, I guess my plan worked. Really? You said Kevin would help, right? Is he not there? What? Do you know something? Anyway, it's freezing and Kevin's not here. Should I clue you in? Since you and Nicole teamed up, Kevin and I did too. Simple, right? Now do you get why I entertained you guys for so long on that first call? To buy time. And Kevin, he hopped on another plane and is coming back here. I hung up once I got word he boarded the plane. Got it. What's your deal with my husband, huh? Don't tell me. You're wrong. We teamed up to get back at you. Now find your own way back. See you. And with that, I hung up. Kevin should be arriving here soon. I decided to call in my lawyer. We had our final meeting regarding the divorce before Brian and the others would return. Why did I gather everyone here? I was sure Brian and the group would confront me. A few hours later, as soon as Brian and his group returned, they started yelling. Pamela. Hey, what the hell? What were you thinking? Be prepared to move out, okay? Kevin's with you, isn't he? Why did you even come back first? Unbelievable. You okay with me leaving you? Apologize. Shut it. Sit down. Usually calm, Kevin's shouting stunned Brian and his companion, making them sit down right away. The lawyer promptly handed out his business cards to both of them. They looked dumbfounded as they stared at the cards. Well, here's a gift from us. Kevin and I handed them a stack of papers. As they read through them, their faces turned pale. Wait a minute, this mentions property division. You're not saying it's about divorce, are you? It's written on mine too. It's a divorce? What did I do? Divorce has got to be a joke, right? Yeah, right. Kevin, let's head home. I'll go first. I've been recording your daily outbursts after some time, even the call you made from your vacation, Brian. You don't even know what you did. I can't continue like this with you. Hold on, are you sure? I said it, didn't I? I'm demanding half of the down payment from when we bought the house, the rest of the mortgage, and the repayment of the savings you spent from when I was single. Nicole, you spent the money you borrowed from me and also withdrew from my savings with Brian, right? You're gonna repay that. No, wait, Brian, didn't you buy this house? And I never borrowed or used any of it. That's a false accusation. Nicole, please go through everything. There's a promissory note in there for the amount you've borrowed so far. No way, I don't know anything about this. If there's no proof, I'll do this with this scrap of paper. And me too. Hand over that recorder. Brian stomped on the recorder. Nicole tore the paper into pieces and threw it away. Then the two of them looked at us with smug expressions. Look here, first of all, Brian, even if you do that, there's still data on the computer. And Nicole, that wasn't the original document. What the hell are you two doing? Oops. Indeed, you two don't think things through. Nicole, I have a claim against you too, spending all the savings and such. And say hi to that guy you got close to at the bar for me. Both of them were shamelessly crying on the spot. The amount I billed Brian totaled $115,000. $5,000 for emotional damages, $100,000 for the house down payment, and $10,000 for miscellaneous expenses. There's also a pending $2,000 loan repayment. For Nicole, the bill amounted to $31,000, $8,000 for miscellaneous expenses, and $23,000 for a loan covered by a promissory note. Kevin billed Nicole $120,000 for distress and expenses, $30,000 for emotional damages, and $90,000 for miscellaneous expenses, excluding shared assets like condos. I thought they might sue, but our attorney's note on the paperwork made it clear. Suing would only cost you more and lead to loss. We settled without court. I packed and left. Brian was transferred. A few weeks later, Brian messaged me. Pamela, I miss you. Life's lonely without you. Can we try again? You can work all you want. No, goodbye. Pamela, it's Nicole. I think you should reconsider things with my brother. Why don't we live together? Maybe there's been some misunderstanding between us. I believe things will be better. Nicole, it's not gonna happen. I'm sorry. Goodbye. They pleaded with me, but I ignored them and blocked their contacts. Kevin received a similar call but turned it down and blocked them too. Sometime later, as I passed by my old house in a taxi, I noticed it was already up for sale. Since the repayment was settled in one go and I had cut off all communications, I have no idea how they're doing now. As for me, I moved out and purchased a condo. Work's been going well, and my boss recently informed me that I've been promoted to regional director, a position I've always aimed for. I've also been dining out with Kevin a few times. Despite our age difference, we have great chemistry and our conversations flow effortlessly. Things feel just right between us, and we share similar perspectives. Life's been good since the divorce. I'm glad I made that decision. What unfolded between Kevin and me after that is a story for another time.